everyone, and welcome to the Next Best Picture podcast, where we are talking with the one, the only Danielle Brooks, star of the new film, The Color Purple. Hello, Danielle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, I'm very glad to be joining you today.
Very excited that you are as well. I'm very excited to talk to you about this.
Yes.
The first thing that I have to ask is, this this casting video of yours that went kind of viral. Um, how do you go on with life knowing that your life has just peaked? I mean, Oprah tells you that you have been cast in this
It's
movie.
crazy. It's
How do you
crazy.
go?
The first thing that happened to me, I could feel it. I think that's why I was holding my chest and I couldn't talk. Like my voice, like, yes, is because I knew that my life was about to change. I could feel it. It was happening. And the first thing I did after like my husband spun me around, picked me up and spun me around in the house, we got on our knees and prayed. And what I've been praying for, Daniel, is guidance during this whole thing, is like help me to get ready for whatever is on the other side of this. You know what I mean? And it's what we're seeing now, is what's happening now. All of the flowers, you know what I mean? Even the process of shooting this movie, it's like, Lord, help me to be ready, because this is such a huge opportunity. You know what I mean? And I just didn't want this to pass me by and not, you know, be in the right headspace. So I've been good. I've been doing the work, because when you call on God, I'm telling you, I don't know if you know, he gonna show up. So I have been doing the work to get ready for this grand, exciting moment that I am experiencing now.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's extra exciting because in the film you get to reunite with your former Juilliard classmate, Corey Hawkins, whom we all know and love. Um, did you find yourself slipping back into like your old college self when you were with him on set?
100%, 100% cutting up all day. Luckily, the best part that Juilliard taught us, because we're very silly people, is how to be professional. Because when I tell you the amount of times we just could not stop laughing or making inside jokes was countless. So it was the one of the, outside of Miss O, the best number two highlight for me was working with Corey Hawkins. So I'm so glad that, they said yes to me, because he was the only one in the cast who did not have to audition. So
Hmm.
he's
Uh,
skilled like that.
and well, and going into this knowing that you're gonna have to slap the hell out of your good friend, what does that feel like?
Slapping Corey. I slapped him in this movie.
You
I don't
slap a
think I
lot of people.
I didn't slap him though, but I actually got slapped on accident. It was total accident
No.
by my co-star, the guy who plays the mayor. When we were
Mm.
rehearsing, he actually did smack me, and I used it. I used it to serve the character, because I too was starting to become angry. But no, he was wonderful. Yeah, that day was rough for me.
I can imagine. You grew up in South Carolina, but were born in Georgia, which is where you all shot the film. What was it like to go back there for this story and this character?
Yeah, it was everything you would think. I mean, it brings up a lot of childhood trauma that I had, of being called the N word for the first time in third grade, and being in this space where actually, we were shooting on plantations sometimes and seeing slave shacks in the back, and like I have this video of us going to the plantation, and just there's like hundreds and thousands of trees. We just passing trees, and all I can think of as a Black woman playing Sophia, who is probably the first generation of freed slaves, was how many brothers and sisters probably were lynched on those trees. It was heavy. It was very heavy. But as Taraji says, and it's so true, we don't wallow in our muck. We truly do try to find the joy in our pain, and know that that's not all of what life is. And to hold on to as much of that joy and laughter, especially as a character Sophia, as we can.
I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah,
Um, And you've also I read an interview where you said that another person that you co-star in this film with, Corman Domingo, once gave you helpful words when you were having a crisis of confidence early on in your
yeah,
career. And what did it mean to get to play alongside him in this
yeah.
film?
I also have to shout out Elizabeth Marvel because she's Juilliard as well.
One of my
And
favorite people.
she
Love
is
her.
so great, so like caring to me because this is a hard part for us both to play in
Yeah.
this way, and she just really took care of me. So I just want to give her love and say thank you. But with Coleman, yeah. So right when I graduated Juilliard, your girl was not working. I was working, but I was a dog walker. I was a typist to an elderly lady. I worked at a restaurant in 60 on
Yeah.
60th Street. I was grinding. That was the
Mhm.
work. And I was hearing a lot of no's when it came to theater. And I went up to Coleman. I saw him at Signature Theater, and I had just saw him in Passing Strange, and I was just like, I got to talk to him. So I went up to him, introduced myself, and he asked me about myself, and I was telling him that I am an actor. I just graduated Juilliard, but I am really struggling to find my place in this industry. And he took the time to empower me and tell me to not give up, And I just feel like it's so crazy that we're having this experience together now. And that his character has remained the same. His heart, his spirit has remained the same. However many years, it has to be over 10 years now. Lord Jesus, might be almost 20 years now.
Oh no, don't
No,
age.
no, it ain't that old. No.
No.
Look, I am not a mathematician. I'm an actress. Okay, so I
Yes.
don't know.
Oh. No, and both of you writing career highs right now as well between this and his work in Rustin as well. It's gotta
Yeah,
be exciting.
it's time for him to. He's been out here grinding as well and being patient during this moment. I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've been learning is when you know something in your heart is destined for you, a lot of times we rush that, but it is okay to be patient so that the universe can prepare you for the thing and the thing for you. And I really am just excited that he's having this moment. He is a leading man. The man is talented, like beyond
Yes.
measure. So getting to like work with him and do that, specifically the first scene where you meet Sophia and she
Yeah.
meets Mr. was a dream for me because we're similar actors. Like we're never gonna make if the line is I like chocolate, we gonna make that line pop. Like you're just gonna know. Like, it's like ain't nothing mediocre about what we do as artists. And so I was very excited to like get to pass that ball with him and Corey as well in that scene.
Exciting. You had to, and I can say that I was lucky enough to see you on Broadway in this part and how incredible you were on stage. And,
Thank you.
you're also incredible in the film. But obviously, it's very different mediums performing for stage versus performing for camera. How how did you approach playing Sophia any differently? And how did it feel different
A
playing, I
hundred
imagine.
percent, Daniel. 100%. 100%. I mean, it was like getting to do 8 shows a week. And I also have to tell y'all, I was shooting Orange is the New Black at the same time. But doing 8 shows a week for a year, playing this part, like I laid the foundation for what you see in the movie. That was the foundation, right? But then there's so many other things that I discovered through this, because what I realized, and a lot of people don't understand about theater, is once you finish your previews, the show gets locked. It's
Yep.
done. You do not get to play around
No
and
more.
find new things and discover new things and try new runs on this note. No, it's what it is. So I'm stuck in this pattern for a year. And as you see, I like to play. So like now getting to do it in this movie form and the type of actor I am, I really love living within the lines, as you people have mentioned. When I say, respect, I live in the consonants. That's the type of actor I am. And so now I have the freedom to do so. I can go to Blitz and say, Blitz, I actually think, when I have that painting or that picture of me and Harpo,
Mm.
and I'm describing how upset I am at him, I think I'd throw it in the water. And he said, okay, we'll get them to rig the glass so that you can throw it in the water. Like that, he allowed me that space. He never said no to any of my choices. Which is it's just like great, because like you get what you get when you give the freedom to the actor. And I know that's why he spent so much time, Daniel, on casting, because he had to make sure that he could trust his actors, because he's got 3,000 things to think about. And at least we can take that one burden off of him and do our work and bring it to the screen and bring it to each day.
And it's good too that, he's open to that. Um, you know? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
playing.
because a lot of people forget, like, and that's why I got it, man. People need to don't sleep on Blitz, man, because a lot of people forget that leadership is not about big dictatorship and just telling people what they're going to do. A leader is also listening, letting people, if the best idea is in the room and it's not yours, that is okay. And I feel like he really operated out of that place, and we see the benefit of it with his movie.
Absolutely. And we're coming up on the end of our time together, unfortunately. But I had to ask, in one of the most harrowing sequences of the film, we watch Sofia as she has to leave behind her children and her family and is wallowing in this prison cell. Um, if you could, if time travel existed and they were somehow able to meet, what advice do you think Tasty from Orange is the New Black would give to Sophia in this moment?
What? What question? I ain't have time to prepare for that. What? Oh my God. Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
What I think Tasty would remind Sophia is that you still have purpose. The fact that she was not hung on one of those Georgia trees and she still survived the abuse that she did, there is still more life and purpose that she has. And I think that's what we discovered so beautifully with Tasty. She went through so much. She ended up getting convicted for a murder she didn't commit, but she still decided to make the Pusey Washington fun and get on her feet and,
Hmm.
be the start riots and all of these
Yeah,
things, because she knew there was more of her to offer than her circumstances presented. So that's what I think she would tell Sophia. You still got purpose, girl.
and you still have purpose coming up and promoting this film and spreading the message.
Yes, I do. And it's just beginning.
Danielle, thank you so much again for joining us today. And thank
Thank
you so much
you.
for your work on the film. Good luck in this whole exciting time and
Thank
with whatever
you.
comes
I'm
next.
living in it. I'm living in it. I'm living.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Nice talking with you.
Good talking with you too.